I'm Uezono from AZB, Asahi Building Oil Company in Japan. We are facade specialists dealing with a wide range of materials. One of our strong areas is GRC. I took the same presentation yesterday, but please listen. And today is for new members and architects and designers. I'll talk about GRC design trends in Japan and their technical underpinnings. The project's name is Azabudai Hills. The Azabudai Hills modern urban village was conceptualized as an environment that was compact and cozy like a village, while also having the sophistication of an international metropolis as well. The street-level design is by Heatherwick Studio. A three-dimensional net frame GRC structure is adapted to seamlessly blend the water features and greenery. Work began in 2021, and we are now in the final phase of the project. Japan has harsh climate conditions because Japan is an archipelago. Summer are hot and humid, and there are typhoons. Winter are cold and dry, and there are also regions with heavy snowfall. I will proceed to introduce Azabudai Hills project with a focus on how the engineering caters to Japan's environmental constraints and design requirements. Firstly, in regard to the earthquakes, we usually use rock and sway method to deal with story displacement. For the Azabu project, we avoided allocating panels that would describe different structures and affixed all of them on the same structure. This is so we don't have to consider story displacement. The damper for the steel structure was projected to move as much as 60 mm in earthquakes. The placement was such that we could absorb the 60 mm with the seams in between GRC panels. In doing so, we no longer needed to replace damaged parts on the damper after earthquakes. We merely needed to replace the sealant. Further, the steel structure was finished on 4 sides with GRC, and the right picture shows this. At the bottom on the pillar panel is not accessible. We adapted a method of installation that didn't need fasteners. The panels were affixed only at the top, and heat expansion and construction would be absorbed along the length of the panel. In regard to the climate conditions, nearly almost all buildings in Japan have to have some kinds of extra finish. The same applies here. Due to the special finish, we conducted a specialized test for this purpose. We performed neutralization, infrared, heat cool cycle, and other accelerated testing on 10 types of coatings, and assess the deterioration of the exterior, waterproofing, the surface strength, the tightness, and anti-wear durability. We choose the best materials based on the testing results. The complexity and the number of materials defined our coating test for this project, but typically, we do routinely conduct simpler testing for finishes. In regard to the shapes, the shapes was free-form, utilizing the flexible properties of GRC to the maximum extent. This is only an excerpt. Besides this, we have cross shapes, T-shapes, and M-shaped structures to deal with. We automated as much of the work processes as possible due to the complexity and the number of different shapes. Such free-form structures are increasingly common even outside of major cities, accelerating the automation and digital transformation of GRC design and production. This is a unique finish using natural aggregate stones. The design envisioned a massive net spring up from beneath the ground. We used various stones to achieve that effect. In order to realize this finish, we made many samples indeed. This is an example, but we made samples with a high proportion of aggregate, low proportion of aggregate, white cement, Portland cement, and many other combinations. We extensively delivered on this from the early design stage. The GRC was composed of two layers, the aggregate layers and GRC layers, to fulfill both structural and design elements. We strove to recreate the approved sample, and through the whole production process, we visually examine the color and density of the aggregate, amongst other things, for 25,000 square meters of the products delivered. In the final result, we managed to fulfill strengths and design requirements while creating a durable product. This is one of the tools we use to automate our processes. As the manufacturing plant is in China, and the finish and installation is in Japan. The management process was dauntingly complicated. We used RFIDs to identify and manage the flow of products. In doing so, we reduced the amount of man-hours, unified data, and reduced human input errors. The 3D model on the right shows how we visualize our completion rate. Each colors represent each product. The project is ongoing. As such, we still don't have the full view of the structure. The facility is expected to open in autumn of 2023. Kindly do visit if you come to Japan. There are many ways to use GRC. In Japan, we have opted to blend GRC with other materials to achieve a more durable product. We approach the technical underpinnings from many perspectives to ascertain the safety and product. If you encounter difficult technical challenges, please let us to share the opportunity to take over the challenges together. Thank you so much for your kind attention.